So just some quick notes before I begin. I was not planning on sharing this video with my main channel simply because it's a low effort video I made specifically for my friend who wanted help with his first touches. But I figured if I'm gonna make this, I might as well share it and post it with my main channel. The problem is I don't have any of my equipment. I'm recovering from a surgery right now. I had surgery on my right elbow about a month ago. I had the same surgery on my left elbow as well just 5 days ago. So I've been out of commission for a while. Can't really use both my hands right now, and I can't record or do anything like that. I don't have my mic. I don't have any of my equipment. All I have is my PC. So I'm using my phone to talk, and I do that throughout the video. I recorded all of this before my surgery for a friend, just a raw take of me running through a training pack, but I add a lot more information in post, talking over it, doing voiceovers, and adding little text boxes throughout the video. So even though this isn't my best work, I didn't put too much effort into this, there's still a lot of good information in this video, and if you are trying to improve in Rocket League, you definitely came to the right place.
Alright, so this is the old training pack right here, RLA Controlled Touches, Rocket League Academy. But this is going to be the main one now. This one's got 7 shots, but this one's got 20 so far. I'm going to continue to add more to it. Let's get in there and I'll show you kind of how I go about it. So again, I made that RLA training pack for myself, right? I shared it with other people using my YouTube, but I used it for myself because I was practicing first touches and wanted to make a pack that applied to my training. But this one is the same thing. It's just a bit more expanded. It's going to teach you a lot of different things. So I'm just going to run through it and give you tips as I hit it. So this first one, just simple, double tap. Ball's going to roll towards you, right? And that first touch on this one is right there. That's that first touch that's important. You want it to be controlled. If you just drive into it, right, it's going to bang up, waterfall, bounce off the wall. So when you come up to it, hit the brake, and then you have a lot more space to work with, right? I'm going to slow down here, right? I'm hitting my brake right there. And as soon as I pop it, I'm going to boost into it a little bit. Or before I pop it. To pop it, I'm going to boost up. A little bit of boost right there. All that does is give you that extra little bit of oomph so that it gets some height and you can control it from there. Shots like this, you should be able to hit, right? This is kind of a lower rank beginning area. The ball is rolling towards you, but I would suggest still practicing it. Get really good getting that controlled touch. You can also use it several different ways, like get it up and air dribble, right? You can just bang it and just try to follow it that way, try to get that double. Not a great one, but you get the point. Let's move on. Continuing in this pack, you're going to have a few different variations of each shot. For the second shot here, we're going to come in, we're going to cut into it, and then try to follow it off that. Cut, get the touch, double tap. Now, the reason I have these shots on different angles, as you can see right there, let's look at this one. So I pop it up, it goes left, right? So I have to change the direction. I put it toward the wall, keep myself back to it, put it in on the angle. So I'm a big believer in training everything you do on both sides and in different variations of that, because it will help you with the muscle memories. This is the same shot, just a different side. Pop it up, get the touch, line up the double. Now when you do this, I don't expect you to hit every shot, right? The main point of this pack is that first touch right there. Right? You gotta learn how to slow down and get that controlled touch. Different things you can do with these is like bang it into the wall and then trying to get that read. Like that. I'm not gonna spend time doing that. I'm just trying to show you that this pack isn't just one thing. When you're going through this pack, your goal is not to get shots, right? That was a good one right there. That's what I'm talking about. Your goal is not exactly to score it, right? You want to focus on these first touches. Like, if you get it into the backboard like this, it's okay if you don't score it, right? You just want to get that first step solidified in your skill set. So, again, on this shot, you're doing the same thing. You can see what I've been doing. Just pop it up. Pop it off that bounce. Maybe go for a dribble. whatever. A big first touch that I've taught a lot of people is this one, jumping up into it with a double jump and then putting it into the net. So when that ball is off the bounce right there, let's see, right here, you're jumping into it. Because when you're doing this, you gotta remember, this game's all about momentum, right? If you hit the ball, it's gonna slow your car down because the ball has weight to it, your car has weight to it, and all the force that's applied, all the inertia, it's all real physics, right? So it's all about momentum. If that ball's bouncing up, the momentum changes up, right? So it's coming down, bounces up, momentum changes, and it goes up. Now, when you're hitting with the car, the way you maintain your speed is the ball already has momentum going up right here, right? As you go into it. But when you hit it, you'll see that my car is slowed down, right? See how I'm kind of slowed down right there? So the way you negate that is double jumping into it. Again, just pay attention to my controller if you're confused. I'm gonna double jump here. And my second jump is after I hit the ball. That's very important. If I double jump before I hit the ball, one, you might lose control of it. And two, you lose a little bit more momentum than you would otherwise. So I'm gonna jump and then jump again after I hit the ball to regain my momentum. The first jump is to hit the ball. The second jump is to get a little bit more momentum into my aerial, right? Get myself up in the air quicker. That second jump is to negate the loss of momentum.
Double jumping before hitting the ball, as you see here, puts the ball far out of your reach and therefore out of your control. A big goal of these shots is maintaining a close following distance to the ball while also staying far enough away to read and hit the double tap. On the second shot here, you see me get too close to the ball before it bounces, and it prevents me from getting a shot. I probably had it if I didn't boost here. The ball would have slowed me down enough to maintain proper distance. But even after this I keep feathering my boost, and it glues me to the ball as a result.
A couple other ways you can do it is trying to slam it into the ceiling and get that touch off the ceiling into the goal, or into the double tap. I'll see if I can get one real quick. Like that. Now, the final iteration of this is rushing to it here before it even bounces, right? Again, I'm jumping into it and double jumping after I hit the ball to regain my momentum coming up. You'll get a feel for it. You'll get a feel for it. Most of the time, you want to double jump after you hit the ball, right? Or as you're hitting the ball to kind of power through the ball and retain that momentum.
My momentum is carrying me all the way through this jump here. Look, I barely used boost to follow this ball. I'm feathering it, right? Just for that adjustment. But I'm not boosting through it. That's a very common misconception with these low ranks, man. People like in plat and diamond, like lower diamond, they tend to boost through everything. And I've seen champs that get into this habit, and so you're wasting boost every time. Plus, it makes it harder to hit.
So, moving on. Again, same iteration of that shot you just took. Just go in a different direction. It has the same bounce, the same everything. So you're going to cut into it. Get the double tap. All right. Controlled touch, shot. This is the left side now. We're just going to cut it over. Try to get a touch on the wall controlled and try to put it into the net, or at least if you mess up, make sure that you're always doing something after you mess up. Don't just immediately reset after you mess up, right? Until it's past the point of no return. Ninth shot. Again, same principle. Just trying to focus on that first touch. As soon as it hits the ground, boom. Get a controlled touch, try to hit the double. But the main part about this shot, this is one of the most important shots right here, right? Because this really teaches you to get that slow, controlled touch off the ground with momentum control. The ball is falling, right? The ball's falling, bounces, momentum changes into upwards momentum, right? When that momentum changes, you want to meet the ball on that momentum change and use the momentum that the ball already has. There are different ways to go about this. That's a good one. That's to the ceiling, to the double tap. That's a really good shot to practice. Really give it some power going up. Let's see if I can do it again. And then try to get the double tap or get the shot, right? When you're getting up with a ball like this, you have a few options. If you're going to go for a double tap, you want to really try to meet it and use all the momentum you can of that ball, right? But if you're trying to do an air dribble, you actually want to slow the ball down a little bit. See how slow I can get the ball to go? I have complete control of it now. That's what I was looking for. So, the way I'm controlling how much power I have is when I hit the ball on the bounce, right there, as it's going up. The higher the ball gets, the less momentum it has, right, off that bounce. So, loss of momentum, apex comes back down, right? So you want to try to meet it at the apex of its height, right there, to get it to slow down. See how my car is like barely moving when I hit the ball there, right? So I'm taking the momentum away from the ball in this situation. I'm taking the momentum of the ball is being taken away by my car, right? And then I follow it and give it more momentum in the direction that I want it to go.
Because my car is almost stationary when I hit the ball, the weight of the ball plus its momentum is absorbed by my car. This creates a controlled, slow vertical touch. It's also worth noting that right as I'm about to connect with the ball, I'm boosting into it and following through, maintaining a controlled distance.
So I'm taking the momentum away from the ball in this situation. The momentum of the ball is being taken away by my car, right? And then I follow it and give it more momentum in the direction that I want it to go. Now, again, when you're getting up with this, you can use your second jump as the way to get momentum on your car. You can kind of pre-jump it and then double jump into it, just like that. And get another controlled touch from it. So again, a lot of ways you can go about taking this shot, right? Doesn't always have to be a double tap. You try to get that air dribble, try to get a flip reset from it. Off the ceiling, into the double. Can't get it, but you get my point. And then, of course, just banging it and going for the double tap from there. That's also another option. Moving on, shot 10. Again, same iteration of that shot you just took straight toward the net. But this is just teaching you how to get angles off that back wall. Just like that. All right, moving on again. Same iteration of the last shot, just on the right side. Moving on again, we have a long shot. So this one teaches you to meet the ball high in the air, right? Get a good controlled touch with the corner of your car. Not the front, the corner. Just like that. I'm not scoring it, but still, it's okay. This pack is just about these first touches here. That's the most important. And you can hit it with the front of your car, like that, but you see how I lose a lot of fucking power? So you got to hit it with the top of your hood if you're going to do that. Because if you hit it with the bottom, it's not going to hit all your hitbox. It's going to hit your wheels as well.
So hopping in here and post again because I actually misspoke here. I told you that I hit the ball with my wheels, but I didn't. You'll notice when I come up to this hit here, I'm tilting my nose forward. So my car is vertical, and as I approach the hit, I'm tilting my nose forward and catching the bottom edge of that hitbox on the ball. So my wheels are not coming into contact with this ball, and that's why I got so much power on the hit. So again, we're coming up to it vertically, tilting my nose forward,
catching the bottom edge of that hitbox. And because I leaned forward, my nose does get knocked back a little bit off the hit, right? But because I was leaning into it, I was able to tornado spin and maintain control off the hit. We're about to go more in depth on this though.
So if we're going to talk about first touches, how to get proper first touches, and how to properly use your hitbox, we might as well chat about the hitboxes for a brief minute. So the video you're seeing here is made by a guy called Rocket Science on YouTube, and he took all the hitboxes in Rocket League, visualized them on the cars using Bacchus mod, and made a video of every single car in Rocket League. That's definitely worth a watch if you want to know what your favorite cars actually look like on their hitbox. Definitely worth a watch. I'll put it in the description if you want to check it out. For our purposes, we're going to be focusing on the side view of the car, but before we go into that, let's say a couple more things about the front end. We're not gonna go far into the hitbox. The hitbox is a very complicated subject in Rocket League. We're just gonna focus on the front end of the car. So a lot of people will tell you that using the corners of your car is the best way to get power on your shots. These corners of the hitbox, right? So using those corners is definitely the best way to generate power, but it's not necessarily the best way to generate accuracy. And there are a few reasons for this, but simply put, when you're playing Rocket League, your view is going to be from behind the car like this, right? And for the average person, using this flat edge to line up the shot is going to be a lot easier if you use your car as a reference, right? This is your reference point. It's going to be a lot easier to line up the front of that hitbox on a solid hit than it would be to use these corners. And using your corners can be difficult. Even I struggle to sometimes get a good solid touch with the corner of my car and put it exactly where I want it to go. So as we move forward here and talk about this a little bit, just know that whenever I'm referencing the bottom of the hitbox, the bottom edge, this is what I'm talking about. This edge, not the corner, but the edge. And using this edge can make it a lot easier to get that accuracy you're looking for on these first touches. So we're gonna take this image here and we're gonna put it into a little editing software I'm using online. Okay, we got the ball, we got the car, okay? So let's talk about the shot that we just took before I started recording this jumping in post. When I took that shot, I was coming up at a 45-degree angle. The ball was up in the air, really high, floating. I came up at a 45-degree angle to get the touch, to put the ball into the back wall, and then get the double tap. Well, the way that you hit the ball here really matters, and I'm gonna demonstrate why using a couple different visuals. So first, let's get a baseline on the ball where we're gonna come into contact with it. I'm gonna get that a little straighter. Okay, not perfectly straight, but that'll work for our purposes here. On top of this, we're gonna put the center of mass of the ball. So the center's right about there. That's the center mass of the ball. So the next thing we need is, because the ball is round, right? When it comes in contact with a surface, it's not gonna hit the entirety of that surface, right? But it will hit a small area. So let's put a dot here and a dot, let's say about right there. So whenever the ball hits this flat surface right here, those two lines represent where the ball's coming into contact, give or take, a few inches, right? Now that we have our frame of reference, let's talk about how you approach the hit with the hitbox, okay? So if I'm coming up at a 45-degree angle to hit this ball, right? If I hit it just like this, center of mass on that bottom edge, right? All the power from this hit is gonna translate from the hitbox, okay? It's not gonna touch my wheels at all, because you can see the ball is still pretty far away from my wheels here, right? You can tell by this line, right? And let's draw a little line down here. So again, it isn't perfect, but this little line right here represents the outside of the ball. So if you come directly on the center mass again, look how far away your wheel is, right? All that power is going to translate from the hitbox. And because you're angled properly, the ball is going to go straight, okay? Now, let's say you hit it underneath center mass, right here. Still no problem. Your wheels are separated from the wall. Your hitbox, all the power is generated from your hitbox, and you're gonna put it up a little bit from here because it's hitting right on that edge. Just like in real life, okay, all this is real physics. Your wheels are going to hit the ball a lot less hard than your hitbox. Your hitbox is a solid surface. Your wheels do not act as a solid surface. Now, let's raise the point of contact, okay? So we're above the center of mass now with the bottom edge of our hitbox. Again, the hitbox, it might hit the ball, but your wheel is going to hit as well. And a lot of the power will translate from your wheel. Now let's lower it below center mass. Okay, this time the wheels do have some separation from the ball. Most of the power will be generated from this bottom corner, if not all. All the power comes from your hitbox. So again, this is a good hit right here. Let's lower the angle of approach now to where we're coming at it more of a straight angle, right? Like we're coming up, but we lower our car and we hit it right there and boost into it, right? Or right on that center mass with the bottom edge. Again, the wheel has separation from the ball. All your power comes from the hitbox. Let's lower it below center mass. Same thing, all the power will be generated from the hitbox. Now let's raise above center mass here, okay? So again, even though you're above center mass, the bottom edge of your hitbox is still doing most of the work here. The higher you hit on the ball, the more of a chance that your nose is going to roll up and you might just drive over the ball. I'm sure you've had that happen to you before. The same thing applies if you're coming straight at the ball with your car. So just like with the 45-degree angle approach, if we have center mass here, right? Here's the ball. As long as you hit where the majority of that ball will hit the hitbox, you're good. But as soon as you get over center mass here, this is a bad touch. But down from here down is a good touch. And that's why a lot of pros love the Fennec so much. One, it matches up really well with the hitbox. Like the hitbox is up here, right? The car matches pretty well. I mean, that's the hood of the car right here, or the roof, right? But specifically with the Fennec, it has this little fin that sticks out right here. And that is a great indicator on where you should be placing your car on the ball. If we hit directly on center mass with that fin, the majority of our ball is going to be hitting off that hitbox. The ball has nowhere to go but on this flat surface, and all the power will be generated from this flat surface. You'll get a good solid touch. Of course, it gets a little bit more complicated than this the more you look into it, but I just wanted to try to keep this simple and try to visualize what I'm talking about in terms of getting the first touch with that bottom edge.
All right, so I just wanted to give you one more little tip on this. As I'm hitting this ball, I'm pushing forward on my stick, right, just slightly. And I'm doing that, again, to not lose momentum. It's all about momentum. Even these little things matter. The ball has weight to it. My car has weight to it. The ball has momentum. My car has momentum. If I hit this ball right here and I don't push forward on my stick, the nose of my car might tilt back a little bit. It might push me back. Even if it's just a slight little bit, that's one, gonna slow me down, and two, gonna take power away from the touch. So as I'm coming into it again, pushing forward. Pushing forward, pushing forward. Biggest thing about this shot though is learning to use your corner of the car to get that first touch off toward the back wall, right? Because using the corner of your car gives you that real good speed you're looking for these double taps. Taking the hit, trying to read it. Even if I fuck up, I'm still trying to go for a shot, just like that. Because you never know what you're gonna get in a game, bro. Like that right there, you pull that off in a game, bro, fuck. Lining up the corner, perfect. That's the textbook double tap right there that you want to hit, right there. And notice also that I'm not boosting through the entire thing. In fact, a lot of the times when I hit this ball, you'll notice that I will release my boost. I'll feather it, and release as I hit the ball, right? Because when I release my boost, it lets me get that just a little bit more control on that touch. The more power you have, the more chaotic the ball can act off of your hitbox. And I also forgot to mention, again, a few more ways you can use this. Practicing getting up, just like we did on the other shot, right? Meeting it at the apex of its height. There we go, that's a perfect one right there. So again, when you meet this on the apex, your goal is to slow the ball down a little bit, give it height, but slow it down so that you can control it. All right, now moving on, we're gonna skip these iterations, same thing, same principle, left and right, practicing on both sides of the field, the same mechanic. Moving on from there, shot number 15. Again, all about that controlled touch. If you fuck up, try to make a pass out of it. This one might take me a few tries to get a good one on. Decent, decent. So again, when you meet the ball here on this first touch, I might boost into it a little bit, but your main focus again should be methodical, not chaotic, okay? And what I mean by that is you should slow down when you're about to hit the ball. Try to get it hit perfect. There, just like that, all right? Now, a little tip I can give you, I find it easier with air roll left to roll, stop, use the undercarriage of my car, like with my front wheels, to kind of scoop it off, right? Air roll, stop, pop, air roll again, shoot, all right? Stop, pop, air roll, shoot. Stop, focus on the touch, pop, air roll, shoot, okay? If you're having trouble with it, don't air roll until you get up to it like I did right there. Now, another reason I use my undercarriage here is because when I hit it, you'll notice I push my stick forward a little bit if I need to. What I'm doing right there, again, we talked about how the ball has weight, right? So when I hit this ball here, if I don't push my stick, look, my car flips back down. Let's try to get a good demonstration. Again, see how it kind of pushes my nose down? Again, pushes my nose down. So to negate that, I just give it a little tap and push forward on my stick before I start air rolling again. Or as I start air rolling, honestly. So again, to reiterate, using the bottom of my car, pushing my stick forward a little bit to prevent my nose from diving into the ground. Now I'm gonna let you watch this one so you can see how I touch it with my nose. See, I'm already kind of pushing forward on the stick before I even hit it there. Same thing again on this side. Just like that. Now, other iterations of this shot can be done, like going to the ceiling. Let's try it on the other side. That's not my good one. Just like that. Probably not going to hit a good one. This will probably take me a while. See, I'll give it a few more tries. God damn it. All right, I quit. You get the point. Now, we're moving on to redirects. Now, redirects are not necessarily first touches. I guess you could consider them, they're controlled touches, right? So I call them first touches. But the way you can use these for double taps is the same principle as the one that you were hitting, that I was hitting with the nose of my car, right? So you want to get that little pop up and then finish it. Controlled touch, pop up, try to read the double. Controlled touch, pop up, try to make a pass out of it if you fuck up. Just try to recover. If you go up the corner like that, maybe try to take a shot, you know? Just like that. That was a perfect one. Perfect. Didn't finish it very well, but you get the idea. You take the redirect, just like you did popping it when the ball was up in the air. You kind of fly up to it, pop it with the undercarriage of your car with your front wheels, right? Same principle, except this time you're redirecting it really quick and letting that momentum get you the shot, right? Your car doesn't have to go very far because you're going to double tap off that hard hit, right? Just like that, it's going to come back to me, see? So, just focus on getting that first touch into the backboard. Everything else comes with time, right? Another way you can use this is just to simply, practice redirects. Try to get that shot off, just like that. All right, you get the idea. Let's move on. Same thing on this side. This side is my worst side because I use a regular air roll. I don't use my air roll left. Although I have been trying to practice that, so I'll give it a few shots. All right, whatever, you get the idea. I had a close one. So again, same thing on this side. You're practicing redirects into a double tap or just simply redirects. Now another way you can use this that I forgot about is putting it into the corner and trying to read off that, right? Putting it into the corner with the redirect or put into the wall like that. Maybe try to get a pass off, right? But into the corner, read it, right? Now that's more of an advanced one, and honestly, this isn't the best shot for that. So just focus on getting those first touches, like always, and then try to read your shot. Moving on, we have a more direct downfield redirect, right? Just like that. Just like that. That's a good one right there. There we go. So, the trick for this, if you're having trouble getting it, right off the rip, jumping, take a little time, get a little bit of speed on the ball first, then go for it. All right, speed, then go. 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 That'll help you get that softer touch so it doesn't go so high. There we go. So it doesn't go so high into the back wall, If you're having trouble with it going into the back wall, just get some speed on it first before you go. Then try to do it. It's like we talked about earlier, where we push our nose forward as we're coming into contact with the ball to maintain our momentum and not get knocked back by the ball. The opposite applies here. I'm not putting any inputs into my joystick when I come in contact with the ball. I'm letting that ball knock my car down into the ground and transferring the momentum of the ball with my car, using it as a wall or a ramp to shoot it into the net. Now you can see there, the reason why you get a little bit of speed when the ball first starts is because that allows you, if you're going as fast as the ball is or just under how fast the ball is, you're going to have a lot more time to react and hit the redirect, right? Like right there, I reacted. I didn't guess. I reacted. Because I have space, I'm reading, I'm finishing. Now, there are a couple more ways you can use these shots here. One, that's a good one right there, and then try to read it off that. So again, same thing with the other side, just putting it into the corner, and then trying to read it off that. Now on this one, if you're reading it, if you're putting it into the corner, it's better to actually wait for the ball here, then jump up and try to get as much momentum out of it as you can. So drive forward, jump, redirect, backboard, finish, right? So waiting, jumping, it's gonna go high. This is also gonna teach you to read that corner right there when it bounces up. You'll start to get more comfortable deciding whether or not the ball is going to bounce, roll, or shoot up into there. Right, that's obviously going to go, but where's it going to go? Right? It hit that tiny little corner right here, or the edge of the corner right here. So you don't know where it's going to bounce off. So again, it helps you read that stuff like that. That's going to bounce up. It's going to bounce right. Just use all these different shots however you feel like training. You know, there's no wrong way to do this. However, I wanted to make sure you understand how I utilize these training packs. Let's do one clean run, no restarting. If I miss, I move on.